Okay, today I'm going to talk a little bit about what are good gifts to give a fly fisherman and what are maybe not the best gifts to give a fly fisherman. It's holiday season. You may want to accidentally leave this on for somebody you know. So here are some of the things you don't want to give, okay? This kind of stuff, okay? I've gotten so many cute gag fly fishing gifts. Luckily, I belong to enough fly fishing groups that they become, in fact, a lot of these will be offloaded during the holidays at sort of gift swap parties and stuff like that. So I give them away as prizes all the time. So I don't have a whole lot to show you, but I've had many really bad t-shirts and crazy hats and stuff like that. So what I want to talk to you, so avoid the weird shirts, you know. Nobody needs a shirt with, you know, I'm with the fly fisherman next door kind of shirts. So, you know, avoid that kind of stuff. Lots of like paintings of fly fishermen, that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, if you're fixing a you know, kind of a man cavey thing or a woman cavey thing, or what do they call those now? Anyway, plaques and paintings and t-shirts. And the other thing is that it's very, very hard to buy somebody who's fly fishing gear because they want something very specific. So the first thing I would tell you to buy for someone, or first couple things I would tell you to buy, and I'll get to some specific things in a minute. I have a whole table full of stuff. The first thing is what you may want to do is get, you know, a gift certificate. If there's a local fly shop around, you know, a gift certificate to the fly shop, and then that way whoever you're buying the gift for will be excited to take that there and get exactly what they want. You know, it might be some specific tool or piece of gear or reel or line or something that they just didn't want to splurge on. Another thing to get them is if there are local guides around, to get them, buy them a guided trip. You know, and there's plenty of, in most fly shops, they also do guided trips, and they are more than happy to sell you a guided trip, and then whoever, you know, happens to be you're buying that gift for will be extremely happy. That's kind of like a splurge that people don't. It's not a cheap splurge, but it's definitely will be remembered for a long time. Other things you can get are, and in some states, every state is different. There's some places that you have to buy like a permit or a license to fish in a particular area. That might be a really good thing to do also. Other things you might want to think about, this one's an expensive one, but it's kind of gets you just in the idea of thinking about it, is like, for instance, a Trout Unlimited life membership. I don't know how much they are now. I think they're over $1,000. But you get usually a $600 or $700 fly fishing outfit with it, like a rod, reel, line, and that kind of stuff. Plus, you don't have to buy any more memberships for the rest of your life. So if you're younger, it's a pretty good deal. If you're, you know, an old fart like me, it may not be the best deal, but at least you're putting back to you're giving back to the resource, and I think that's kind of a really special gift. I got one. My wife bought me my life membership back when I was about 50, 55, and it's been really nice to have, and I use that rod, which is probably the best rod I own, a lot. So that's a very touching gift, and I think about it all the time. Other gifts in that realm might be if there is a local Trout Unlimited chapter. Sometimes they have their own merch, and you can get, your chapter, like some hats or jackets, that kind of thing. And that's always appreciated. And it helps both a local chapter and the person. So there. So now I'll get to the real merch. What kinds of things are good to buy for somebody? Well, they can be as simple as, like a kind of a specialty. This is actually a zinger, but it's this springy kind. And, you put it on there and you put your hemostats or something on there. That's kind of a nice gift. Not very expensive, but it's sort of unusual. Okay, I would have never have bought this, but I was given this as a gift, and it's very kind of cool. Something if you want whoever it is just to thank you forever the rest of your life. If you can find these are they're getting tough to find again. And I actually looked this up last night. This is made by Streamworks. But they have other companies, Dr. Slick, a bunch of other companies make these. These are both hemostats and scissors and barb flatteners on this side. And they have the big side here. So when these are hanging on one of these zingers, you can quickly just grab your hand into it. And it's a hemostat, it's a cutter, it does everything. Best tool I've ever found. I own 2 or 3 of these, because they're just wonderful. Not very expensive. These are like in the less than $20. But worth $1 million, and whoever you give it to will be thrilled. I don't have one of these Amazon affiliate stores, so you're just going to have to do this on your own. Kind of moving up the ladder. My kids just recently bought me a new net, and I had this old sort of metal beat up one, and this is kind of a fancier one. Again, it wasn't overly expensive. I know it wasn't overly expensive because it's usually not overly, and it came with all the net hanging stuff on it. I haven't used it yet, so it's brand new, but I was really excited when it's kind of nice. It's pretty. It's always nice to have nice stuff too. Some other things you might want to think about is if you go to the fly fishing store or Amazon or whatever, you can pick up, you don't have to get a super expensive one, but pick up a reel for someone. Now, I know that this is a very specific kind of gift, but often as you go through your fly fishing journey, someone's going through their fly fishing journey, they tend to buy some different lines, and rather than unspooling it and spooling it and spooling it and unspooling it, it's always nice to just have it right on a reel. That way it's easily accessible. So you may want to try something like that. If you want, you could go to a fly fishing store again, and these could be like Bass Pro Shops and stuff like that, and get a little packet of flies, maybe some specialty flies. Ask the person there, what's the coolest new fly? And you'd be surprised how expensive some of these are. But maybe that might be like a game changer kind of fly. Other things to consider. Just on the nice side, anything that says Filson, is pretty cool. These are really classic waxed canvas fishing stuff. This immediately makes you look like an old guy that you've been fishing for years and years and years. Plus, they work great. I mean, this is like the best rain hat I own. It's really quite wonderful. Great in the summer. I wear this hat all the time, along with the 300 other hats I have. A couple other things you might want to consider. Here's kind of an oddball one, but something to think about. An AirPod, or something similar, whatever the Android version of this is. These are great to put in your fly fishing bag because you will leave that bag on top of the car and you will drive away. And it's always nice to be able to somehow track it. Now, often you're fishing in a place where there's no cell service or anything, so sometimes that's a little difficult. But at least if you left it at a store or restaurant or fly shop or something like that, you can easily track it. Okay. The other thing is that they can easily track you too, which can be a good thing. Or a bad thing, depending upon your situation. But a great gift would be to get some AirPods and or air. What are these called? AirPods, right? And do that. A couple other things I would suggest. Great gifts. The kind of things people don't typically buy for themselves until they're almost forced into it is a wading staff. You can go to Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, anywhere. Buy a wading staff that folds down real small like this. You pull it out and it goes tick, 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 and it becomes a wading staff real quickly. These are a nice gift. I would say in between $50 and $100 kind of gift. I've mentioned this before many times. A wide wading belt. It's absolutely a totally different experience with a nice wide wading belt, especially if they do a lot of stream walking in the water, kind of wading. Here's something I pulled up and I didn't bring it. A fish kite. Forget it. You don't need that. Okay, don't buy that. And just a couple other little things I'm going to do is like a shameless plug here, but something like a lawn trout. These are, this is the single version. It's a fish. It's kind of a felty fish, and it has flies. You put this out on the lawn, you cast to it, and then you can catch it and bring it back. It's great for practicing. These are $20 online, lawntrout.com. Nice, easy gift. It's one of those things that people really like. Other things you can think about are a class at the local fly shop or your local TU chapter. I don't want to get into a big deal about this, but that's just in general. Those are some simple gifts. Go to Amazon, look under fly fishing, and you'll see a bunch of little doodads and stuff. But often people are very specific about the doodads that they want. Because, like for instance, I just don't use regular hemostats much anymore. I just use these kind of things. So, depending upon whether they're a beginning fisherman or a later in the journey sort of fisherman. So I hope this was a little bit helpful, and give it a try. Thank you.